This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So, yes, today is the first session. So we would like to start with, what are the things which are required to start our session, and on that particular perspective. So you need to have set up a couple of things. So one is your desktop utilities, and the other one is the accounts which are required for your practice. Okay, so here you do require first thing is Amazon Web Services. So here you're to learn, or you're here to learn Amazon Web Services and DevOps on Amazon Web Services. So we'll be using Amazon Web Services for our lab practice as well. So every one of you should have your own account uh, to start with. So that's the reason. So you have to go ahead and so create a or sign up with Amazon Web Services. And I have made a procedure to do that. So I'll ping you the URL. So just give me, yeah. So here is the URL. I'll ping you this. I'm putting in the chat for everyone. So please, so copy this and bookmark this URL. So because we'll be hanging out with this particular URL for a couple of days. Okay. So just bookmark this URL.
Hi,
And
just one thing is, are we also teaching AWS code binding and code deployment in this one?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And so here, first of all, you need to set up your AWS account, and your AWS account is, so just go for sign up. It's a simple sign up form, so I probably doesn't require much of, introduction about it. It's a simple sign up, but all you need to have is your mobile number and a valid credit card or debit card. So whichever it is accepting. So it accepts debit cards as well and credit cards as well, but mostly debit cards means usually like Visa cards probably it will accept, not like Mastero. Okay, so just try to use it. So don't worry about so giving your card. So they are not going to deduct anything from your card other than 2 rupees for just for validating your card, and again that 2 rupees also will get credited back in your account. That's the only charge which happened to you initially while signing up. And after every month, after the month, so they'll generate the bill of your how much usage you are using, and so you have to pay that particular amount. So that is how it is. There is no auto deduct even at the end of the month. Earlier Amazon used to do that, but now they're not doing it. Okay, so auto payment options. So don't select any auto payment options. Okay, that's fine. Now select these options like so profit while signing up. So just go for personal, and so you can select your details. So everything is mentioned here. So you can try this particular sign up after the session and following this particular link. Okay, and yeah. So once your account is ready, yeah.
Raghu, in case if you don't pay the amount, so if you use any of the services, suppose
Mhm.
we have used some services in EC2, so if you
Mhm.
don't pay the bill, then what will happen?
Your account will get deactivated.
Okay. So in
Yeah.
that case, what is the next action? So do we need to activate it again, or
You have to pay the amount so that it will get activated.
okay?
Your bill,
So
whatever you are going to.
any penalty they will charge, or simply
No,
so just need
no,
to pay the amount?
no penalties. You just pay the amount. That is fine. So
Okay.
they'll send you a couple of reminders saying that your account is going to deactivate. So probably after 15 days of the bill generation, so they'll send you an email saying that so your account is going to get inactivated. So pay the bill, pay the bill. So you have to pay that particular bill. That's how you have to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Raghu.
Yeah. So here yeah, so once you just need to once you sign up, so here is how you provide your credit card details. Okay, so once you sign up for your account and try to provide the genuine details. Okay, otherwise so they are going to, so there are some methods actually to validate the details of the things, the card and the numbers whatever you provide. So they might put your account on hold also. So some cases, some of your accounts might go into pending state or inactive state immediately after creating the account also. So they'll not allow you to log in, allow you to create the resources initially unless until your accounts are verified. Okay, so some cases, if people are using the proper cards and all, so probably they can enable, not proper cards, I can say. I don't know particularly these payment methods, how they validate basically. So certain cards will get activated immediately, but certain people, certain cards, so they will not activate it. So it's a very rare case. Like let's say, so there are 30 people out there, so one or two people might face an issue, okay, while signing up account. So don't worry on that particular part. There itself, they provide an option to contact a support. So go to support and click on support and contact the AWS and say that my account is not active. They'll say why your account is not active. So just go and so provide such details to them, and they will activate your account. So never worry on that particular part. Okay. So and your Amazon account is going to be free account for first 12 months, and after that your account is going to be the not a free account. It is going to be become a normal account, so that the free benefits whatever you are going to have for the first 12 months will not be there from the 13th month. So that is what is going to happen. Okay, so that's where for the free account, so initially 12 months you will not be having much charges. So because what all the services which we are going to consume in Amazon will get will get rid of due to so free services whatever they're offering. Okay, so the bill will be generated. In the bill, they are going to detect that this is due to free tire, so they're deducting this amount, and you're going to get the remaining amount only. Okay, so that is how it is. Okay, so first thing you have to do is so sign up for Amazon. You have to do that. Okay, so that process is actually available here, and so this is the URL. I'm putting it once again in the chat. Everyone, please bookmark this URL because we're going to hang out in the with this particular URL for a couple of days. Okay, and there are certain tools which are required. To connect to your Amazon to create your to connect to Amazon Web Services, to the servers which you are going to create in Amazon Web Services. We're going to create some servers, and those servers we are going to connect using certain utilities. So here the first utility which I are going to install is Git Bash. Okay, so and only Git Bash at this point of time. So now whoever are the users of Mac, see I'm using Mac, so I don't really need to install this particular utility because there will be an inbuilt terminal which can be used as a Git Bash, so you don't need to install. And whoever is using a Linux based operating systems like Ubuntu or some other thing, so you also no need to do anything. So because you also have inbuilt terminal. Only for the Windows guys, you need to install Git Bash. Okay, so let me go and install a Git Bash here. Okay, so Git Bash on my Windows operating. So this is a remote desktop which I took. So just one minute. So I'm just using the old machine so that I have old softwares already. Yeah, cleaned up. So assume that this is a new system for me. I don't have any softwares installed. Now I just need to go for Git Bash. Okay, go to Google and type start from Google only, it doesn't matter. And just give Git Bash. And so they are going to get git-scm/downloads. Even the URL is specified over here. You can just click on this, okay, and just click on this and click on Windows. You want to download this for Windows, so just click on Windows, and automatically it is going to download based on your operating system. Yours is 32-bit, it downloads 32-bit Windows. If yours is 64-bit, it downloads 64-bit 64-bit exe file. Okay, so just click on this and install it with very default options. Don't change any options even. Just go for next, or if you want any desktop icon, so probably you can select a desktop icon here. So here additional icons is coming up while installing. Just click on the desktop, you will get that. So other than that, you don't require to change anything. So just go and install next. I'm not changing anything at all. And also let me log into my Amazon account console, or you can start from Google as well. So AWS console login. So you'll be getting the URL. So just click on this, and you have to sign into the console. And so this is my username, and I'll be providing my password. Yeah, so here I just logged into my account. So mine is a very old account. So and I can start creating the servers. So initially, so what you need to do, a couple of things before creating the servers. So launch git bash, or just finish it and double click on the desktop icon to open it, or launch git bash. Okay, so yeah, here it is. So probably you see a very small font. I just increase the font size. So probably you see a very small font like this. So but for demonstration, so I just increased a bit font size. Okay, so this is how the git bash looks like, and this shows you whichever the username you log in, whatever the username of your Windows you're logging in, and this is what it is showing you, the operating system name of the Windows machine. Okay, so that's fine. Now you can log into Amazon, and once you log into Amazon, so you'll see the dashboard, something like this. So same dashboard whatever I'm seeing, so every one of you will see the same dashboard. Okay, and from here you have to navigate to few things, or you have to navigate to few locations to set up your account. So first thing first, you have to stick with the region. Amazon Web Services Amazon Web Services are having data centers in different geographical locations, and those particular locations are on the top right side. You have three drop down things. So, and here is what you have, different regions. We call it as regions. Okay, Amazon Web Services offering their data center services, so in different regions, which is nothing but different geographical locations. Okay, so here is what you have it, and you have to choose one of the region, and you have to just stick with only one region. Do not create resources with cross regions. Okay, so what is the problem if you create the servers in cross region is, what is the thing we have observed is, so people will create the resources and they forget that they created that resources, and end of the month they'll get a surprise bill. Okay, so because they forget the things and they're running, and they cross the, let's say some cases they cross the free limits, and you are going to unnecessarily paying the bill. So don't do that. So stick with one of the region. Okay, and as a free account you're not free to use all the regions again. Okay, so there's a ticket actually which I have some time back. So let me go to the support center. I can show you some of my tickets. So they changing, unable to create servers. So you can see some information here provided by Amazon. So here Yeah. So try to see this. Okay. So I was unable to create the server as a free account. So that time I sent an email saying that, I raised a request saying that, hey, I'm unable to create the servers. And my apologies for the limitation, as an added measure of security, all new AWS accounts are limited to 3 regions, okay, with the default limits, namely North Virginia, Ohio, and Oregon. Okay, so that means going back, if you on the left side, if you just click on AWS icon once again, so here the regions, whichever you are selecting, you're not free to select all regions other than North Virginia, Ohio, and Oregon. Yeah, only these 3 regions are by default. As a free account, you can go ahead and create the server. So choose one of the region. So for your batch, I'm going to select a Ohio region. I will select a region, Ohio. I'll go here and I'll stick with this region for your complete batch. Okay, and you also try to stick with one region. So probably just to follow me, you also select Ohio region only. Okay, so somewhere in the some of the configurations and automations, we'll specify the regions of Amazon. So to avoid the confusion, to follow correctly, so just use Ohio region. Okay, I'm sticking with the Ohio region. It's your free choice to use any of the region of those 3 for your free accounts.
Raghu, do you have region for India?
India, you have Mumbai. So you have Asia Pacific, Mumbai.
Can we create a free tier account with Mumbai, with this instances with this Mumbai
You can.
region?
You can, but you have to raise a support ticket saying that if you use a fresh account or a new account, so they'll not allow you to create in those regions. You have to raise a support ticket and say that, hey, I want to create servers in Asia Pacific Mumbai. Please enable my account. So then they will do that, and you can still create free servers there. Yeah, and again, so region to region, the charges are different. So usually Asia Pacific charges are little high, not very much, little high comparing with US regions. Okay, so that's ignorable thing, but still, okay. So I'm sticking with US regions. So yeah, Ohio region. So my suggestion is stuck with Ohio region, or you are free to use any of the region, which is North Virginia, Ohio, or Oregon. Okay, so these 3. All right. So first thing first, you logged into yes, someone, Farhan, anything? All right. So first thing first, you logged into Amazon account and you choose a region. So you are sticking with one region now. Now, once you're sticking with one region, so then you're ready to start, using some of the services. And so, firstly, we're going to start with the very fundamental services, which is, creating a servers and start using it. So we can go ahead and create a servers in our local desktop as well. But I do not prefer to use local desktops because desktops are meant to run the desktop operating system and the desktop utilities, not meant to run some virtual machine. So if you run them, so you are unnecessarily making your resources exhausted. So it makes your machine very, very slow. So don't do that. And so you have free things which are available here. Just enjoy the free services which are available here. Okay. So coming to here, and so how they are going to offer the free services. So you take a server. So they will provide you 750 hours runtime of a of a free server. So that means you run single server. 750 hours is almost close to, you get like, so 31 days, 24 hours. If you calculate, you get closely to um, you see this. So you just go for 31 days into 24 hours, you'll get close to 730, yeah, or 750, yeah. Closing to 750, you're going to get free server. So now what how can you consume this particular 750 hours is you can run one single server continuously, so 750 hours, or else you can use a couple of servers for or let's say 2 servers for 15 days continuously. You'll be having 0 bill. Or let's say you take 3 servers, so 10 days completely running it up. So you're still you're not going to pay anything. But if you cross that 750 hours, then you'll start getting billed. Okay. So what is our suggestion is, once you create a server, you're not using it, just stop the server. If you stop the server, you will not be charged. And again, it's not completely true again. Okay, so if you stop the server, you'll not be charged. That's not completely true. You'll still be charged. And again, because your server uses a disks in the backend. Okay, so that means if you want to create an operating system, you require a hard disk, right? So here in Amazon also, if you want to create a server, you require a disk as well. So if I just go for let's say AWS free tier limits something, you'll get all the limits. So here the different services, they're providing how much time those are free. So you can see this. So your Amazon EC2 is 750 hours. There is something called as S3, so that is 5 GB limit as a free. Now coming to the disk size, okay, so here you have different services. You can just go for product categories, and here you have storage. Yeah, so now just calm little bit down. Yeah, so your servers uses elastic block storage in the backend, EBS volumes. And how much is free? 30 GB. So assume, okay, you're running, so you thought of running 3 servers as a free account. If 3 servers is having 10 GB each, so that means it is still under free limits. Even you stop your server, you'll not be charged. Let's say you stopped 3 servers and you created a 4th server which is running, and that is having additional 10 GB. So that running the server is free because the other servers are not running. And whereas the additional 10 GB which is out there, because the 3 servers which is already stopped, which is already consuming this 30 GB, 10 each, and the 4th one, whatever the 10 GB extra it is, so you are going to get started paying for that particular 10 GB. Okay, so what again my suggestion is, so if you are not using, so stop the servers, and if you are not really using them, so delete the servers. So for the initial few days, I'm going to delete all the servers. Whatever I create, I delete the server. So I better make that particular practice. So you do follow the same practice. Okay, so that you will not get any surprises at all. Right. So now, is Anil anything? All right. So now, so first thing first, what you have done is you signed up for an AWS account, and you stick with one. You logged into AWS account. You stick with one region, and we are going to start consuming. We are going to start consuming one service, and the service is going to be EC2. Okay, so EC2 is the one which is a fundamental service in Amazon, which offers servers. Okay, so when you click on there, you will see the same dashboard. However, you are seeing mine. So where I click EC2 is, so just let's say once you log into Amazon, so this is what the dashboard you see. In the all services, very first service is EC2. So just click on EC2, and you're going to get this one. So before creating the servers, you need to set up your servers. A couple of things. So what are the things you need to set up over here is, so just go to Git Bash. You need to do one small thing over here. So what I have done is, what I have told you here is, so install Git Bash, which is fine, and then Okay, so once after git bash is done, open the git bash and run the following commands. Okay, back and Linux users also can run the same command in terminal. ssh-keygen -f devops. This is what I want to do. So here ssh-keygen and -f devops. So even the screenshot is also given here. So how does it look like? Okay, so yeah, so ssh-keygen -f devops and enter. So what it is doing later you will understand that. Okay, so now it creates two files. Okay, so where does those two files got created is you can check in your home directory. So your home directory will be go to the PC, start from C drive, and users. I logged in as administrator, so I'm selecting administrator. So in your case, your username or even your git bash shows you which username you are using here. Okay, so you just click on that particular user. So there you'll find out two files. One is DevOps and DevOps.pub file. You see this? Now I'm not done actually, so I'm telling one more command. So here mv devops to devops.pem file. So here I will move devops to devops.pem file. So there is a reason behind these things. So we'll talk about those things later. That's fine. So now you'll see the two files like this, devops.pem and devops.pub file. Okay. So this is how you have it. So in some of your operating systems, you might not see these extensions in Windows, basically like Windows 7 or so, because these files might have associated with some of the utilities, so you might not see those extension. So to see the extension, so probably you need to go to View and enable file extensions. So you have an option here. So if you select that option, probably you see those extensions. One is a pub file and the other one is a .pem file. So two files you are having with you. And these two files are really important. Okay, so we are going to use the same two files from day one to last day. And even after the sessions also, you would be using your keys to connect to your server. So these are very important. So just keep them in a safe location also, but keep them in this location and also in the same, copy this to some safe location as well. Okay, so you can generate it again once again if you want. That's not an issue, but still, okay. So keep them. So one key pair is fine. So just keep them with you. Now we are going to do setup. So our AWS account with one of these key. Okay. Now what you have to do is the first thing is on the left side you have key pairs, or here also you have a key pair. So just click on key pair. We generated one key pair. We have to import that particular key pair. So we have to import key pair, and you have to choose a file, and you have to select a pub file. Not PEM file, pub file. You have to select PUB, pub file. Okay, so just click on import, done. Just click on import, done. Now you can create servers, and those servers we are ready to, ready to connect from this utility. From this utility, we are now ready to connect to those particular servers. Okay, so from here we are going to start with servers. So clear? Any questions on this so far?
Yes. What about the keygen on MacBook?
Yeah, you have a default terminal. You can use a terminal.
Okay. So it's the commands and everything is the same?
Yeah, commands, everything is same.
Okay, cool.
Right. Yeah, any other questions?
So, Raghu, what exactly are we doing with this key pair generation and linking these to the
Later
EC2
you'll
records?
understand. Later you'll understand. Too early to just, to tell that much things what is happening behind the scenes. But as of now, so think that it's a key pair which is used to connect to the servers. That's all. But how the connections is happening, so why are you using this way? Later we will talk about those things.
Just
Initially
can you,
understand. Yeah.
okay, I
Yeah.
understand. So can you ping the link where we download the GitHub software?
Yeah, GitLab software is, you can type in Google, or I have the documentation here. I'm just putting in the chat, so just bookmark this URL. So this is having the link also. You can see this, git-sem.com/downloads. You can use it. Any other questions?
What is the use of this JIT, Raghu?
So Git Bash is a utility which gives you Linux commands in Windows at this point of time. Understand that tool as it gives you the commands to execute the Linux commands. SSH-keygen is one of the Linux command you want to execute inside your Windows machine. Okay, so in order to do that, Git Bash is a utility. You can do that. So there are alternate also. You have Syswin. Okay, so you have Syswin. You can use Syswin. Now, if you are using Windows operating system, Windows 10 operating system, if you are using some 181.0.180 or some update number, after the update number, you have Ubuntu pre-installed in your Ubuntu Windows 10 embedded.
Raghu,
Okay, you have
Windows 10, it is free for developers, right? Some extensions they were given well after Windows 10 update.
I'm not sure. I'm not a Windows guy, so I'm really not sure. Yeah. So yeah, the alternates would be one is Syswin, and even Ubuntu is now available as a Linux subsystem. Yeah, so Linux subsystem available in Windows 10. You can install that, so you can get that. So rather than all these setup, I would prefer go for Git Bash, and you get those Linux. We'll just use only one Linux command all the time. So that Linux command to connect to the Linux server. And once you connect to the Linux server, it's all about Linux commands. Okay, so we use that. So some people might probably already aware of connecting to the Linux machine using some other utilities like PuTTY or some other tools. But as of now, I'll be sticking with only one utility, which is Git Bash. But later, you can try those particular tools. I will explain those particular process. But this point of time, only one utility.
So we have to use the pub file, right?
Hey Raghu, this is Kaushik. So you just went in and launched the instance, is it? That's it?
No, I haven't launched the instance yet. So what
Oh,
I
where
have done,
did I was confused when after this.
yeah, I just in my Windows desktop. Let's say mine is a Mac desktop.
Okay.
You know, I have a Windows desktop as well. I just took the remote connection onto that, and that's where I'm. Because most of the people uses Windows, and that's where I generated this particular key pair.
Okay.
Yeah, in your local desktop. So what are the Windows desktops you are using? So
Yeah,
just install the Git Bash utility and generate those keys.
I'm talking about the AWS console. What did you do in the AWS console?
So in AWS console, in the key pairs option on the left side, you can find out in EC2, you'll find out key pairs. I have to import the key pair which is generated through my Git Bash. Whatever is generated, I just imported here. So let's say, let me delete this key pair and just click on import key pair. So whenever I did SSH-keygen, I got two files. One is DevOps and DevOps.pub file. And I renamed the DevOps file as DevOps.pem file using another command. So by using mv, that's okay. And after that, I imported the key pair. So which is import key pair. Just choose the file, and you have to select the pub file. So just select the pub file. We are going to map this particular pub file to the servers which we are going to create, so that using my Git Bash, I can connect to those particular servers.
Okay, thank you.
What is the PEM file by any chance?
So there itself, you have the PEM file.
Oh no, but what's the purpose of that? If we're installing the pub file,
Too
what
early. At this point of time, that's a too early question, but you'll definitely know about these particular things in later sessions. I don't want to confuse everyone here. That's the only reason. There is no other intention.
I think it is a one-time job, right? For all the servers
Correct. First time setup.
for the first time setup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only one time. So keep those key pairs in a safe location so that you will
Okay.
you will not end up generating again keys, changing everywhere. Things like
Okay.
that.
Okay. I think these keys are changing from all Windows, right?
Sorry, come on.
If I install in my system, the key value pair is changing, right?
Yeah, it will change.
The same keys, the same
No,
keys.
you cannot. No, SSH-keygen, there is 0% probability that you get same keys again. It's different all the time.
So it is varying from one Windows to another window, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, how often we have to regenerate the keys?
One time, no often.
Oh,
on
there is
time.
no expiry on it.
No, no.
Okay.
All right. So
Or can we set up a policy on each server that every, like, let's say every like couple months or a year, you gotta renew their key, like
yeah,
a
you can.
general key.
Yeah, you can do that, but the problem over there is, so the Amazon Web Services will not allow you to, once a key is paid with the server, you cannot change the keys. So that is the problem.
Okay, so is there any other way to make the server secure?
Other way secure is, so what you can do is you can allow the servers to connect only from your company's network, so that if the employees leave the organization also, he will not be able to connect. Even though he has a key, he cannot be allowed to access from the outside world. So that is how we do that.
Okay, are we gonna do that? Like, will you go show us how to do that?
It's pretty straightforward and simple. You can see that all those options.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Yeah. Any other before creating a server? All right. So let's go on to create an instance. So I want to, can't I use a Windows machine? I really need a Linux machine. I mean to say, like, is it really needed a Linux machine to start the practice? Can't you use your Windows? Initially, some commands you can practice in your Windows as well, but anyhow later you are going to end up with Linux operating system all the time. So better use Linux. Okay, why Linux? Okay, there is a Windows Server operating system also. And why am I preferring Linux operating system? Because enterprise world uses Linux more than Windows. Linux is everywhere. Linux is there in the server. Linux is there in the storage. Linux is there in the network. Linux is there in the data center backup devices. Linux is there in your mobile. Your Android mobile is Linux. Okay, Linux is there everywhere. Okay, so coming to the server's perspective, Linux is bigger than Windows. Windows is very small, thin layer. Okay, so if you compare with Linux, I mean, I'm not saying that. So you can go to the Wikipedia. So I always get a argument here from Windows guys. Okay, don't take me wrong, just saying. So let's check the information from Wikipedia. Okay, so usage of different operating systems, Wikipedia has some report. So let's see the report of Wikipedia. So hope Wikipedia, everyone agrees on these particular reports. Okay, so here usage of different operating systems, they have changed this particular web page, it seems. Yeah, now you see this Windows. Okay, so Windows operating system, desktop operating systems. Okay, in the desktops, there is, according to the survey, so 2018 Stack Overflow Developer Survey provides no details about particular versions of Windows, but the desktop operating systems are among different developers. Let's say 49-50% is almost Windows. Mac OS is after that, and Linux is after that. Everyone agrees on that. So my Windows is widely used in your desktops. No one is saying anything on that or arguing on that particular point, right? Coming to the smartphones, so you see this blue line is very bigger. So how blue line is so bigger? Because it's Android. So everyone knows that out of 10 devices, 8 to 9 devices would be Android. Okay, so definitely that is bigger. And next one is, okay, coming to the servers, the same way you have server report as well. Okay, so think about computers, big computers, and big computers. Earlier there used to be a blue color, which is Unix operating system, and later now it is completely Linux. Okay, so the complete green color. You have Windows, but very thin layer. Okay, all the time. So on the big computers I'm talking about, even the servers, majority of the servers. Okay, so Linux is what users in enterprise. Okay, so not Windows. Windows, we don't have guarantee of what is going to happen at what point of time. So that instability is there in Windows, and it will not give you much control how Linux is providing you. It will not give you hands-free in Windows, but in Linux you can get control on each and every layer. Okay, so that's how it becomes easy to manage. And that's where so we are also leading into taking a Linux operating system um, to start with. But coming to the Linux, so there is a small story behind Linux. So here there is a small story behind Linux. What happened for Linux? Okay, so most of the people have a small confusion here, thinking that so Linux is a latest version of Unix operating system. The answer is not true. That's wrong. Linux is not a flavor of Unix or something. No, the answer is no. So Unix is completely different approach. What is Unix operating system is, my Mac is Unix operating system. Okay, so what that means is, in my MacBook Pro, whatever I'm using, I can install only the iOS software. Okay, or whatever the software whatever the software which Apple is providing, so that software only I can install, or it comes together, at least I can say. So the software and hardware binded together. So that is Unix. And that's where the different Unix operating systems were there. You take IBM, so they had AIX operating system. In that hardware, you can install only AIX. So like you have Oracle hardware, you can install only Sun Micro, or so Sun Solaris. Okay, so our Oracle Solaris now. And like that, Unix will have very particular, and you can install only that software on that hardware. Okay, and okay, Unix was the first operating system was there in the market, and it was very good, very stable, because the hardware vendor itself is providing you the the software as well. So ultimately the performance will be there. So like you take iPhone, basically, right? Your hardware is provided by Apple, and the iOS inside that also will be provided by Apple, and hence you see the performance, because both the things is done by the single person, right? But whereas you see, if you use your Windows operating system, so like let's say in your last desktops, obviously you see the some delay in the performance. Even though you have 16 GB of RAM, you cannot compete with 8 GB of RAM in the Mac operating system. So this does better than 16 GB RAM. So that is because the hardware is done by some other person and software is done by other person. So there is always some layer which is gap in between them. Okay, now that's fine. Okay, that's Unix. Unix means software and hardware together, and that is Unix. Now back in 1980s, so when these Unix operating systems were being introduced, and even the software courses were being introduced in the universities. So the students and the colleges were facing an issue that they could not afford. Okay, so buying a Unix operating system. So today you want to buy Unix is always costly. Unix is always costly because they are giving software and hardware together. They are a monopoly, and so they always sell it for higher cost. Okay, so you take MacBook Pro. So we really wonder, is it really worth of so putting 2.5 lakh of rupees buying a MacBook Pro? Okay, so think about that. Okay, so some could afford, so because they want quality and performance kind of things. Okay, but if okay, so in some cases it is the cost is really a concern, you probably choose for an alternative, right? So now yeah, same story. So because back in 1980s there is only one operating system, Unix, and it was so costly. So so educational institutions like universities, they could not afford buying these Unix operating systems for the students to practice. And that's where some group of people were forming, and so they were working on so something that so against Unix, like so making other than Unix. And that's where a person called as Linus Torvalds, so he came with an operating system and he named it as Linux. So there is a reason he made it as a Linux, which is something naming like a Unix. Why? Because so he made an operating system which something looks like Unix but not Unix. Okay, Okay, he made an not an operating system. He made a layer, and that particular layer operations looks like Unix. Okay, and so that's where the industry has been transformed. Okay, or transforming. So back in 1991, he made a first release, and so there were a lot of struggle in the industry. So people had a lot of doubt that whether it goes successful or not successful, and people were laughing actually. So is that a real product, real good product? Okay, so now what he has done is, so Unix means you have software and hardware together, right? So assuming this as hardware and you have software, so you have together Unix. So what he has done is he has introduced a layer between it, so which drives your software and hardware. So that they are calling it as Linux, or also you call it as kernel. Linux is not an operating system. A word Linux is not an operating system. Linux is a word, or a kernel is a word, which is a software which drives your hardware and software. So that is what it is. And now this is open source. So this is provided as an open source. Okay. So in 2004, so there is a kernel version which is 2.6 introduced. Okay, 2.6 introduced, and that's a game changer in 2004. So at that time, so the graph was like this, I assume. Okay, the graph was like this, and from there the graph was like this. Even the Wikipedia, so which I have opened, if you see, then the things are changing from 2004 only. Okay, so I just closed it. So the Wikipedia diagram which I have shown, it's a game changer from 2004 only. See this? So 2000, this is 2005. So, but before to that 2004, it's a game changing thing. Okay. So such a stable kernel was introduced in 2.6. And that's where people started adopting it more and more and more. Okay, and so there are different companies who adopt this particular Linux and build some software on top of Linux and release this as Linux operating system. And out of that, Red Hat is one of the major one. Okay, so Red Hat is an enterprise Linux which is widely used in the market. Okay, so and there is a small story again in the Red Hat. Okay, Red Hat is not a free operating system, but Red Hat is a partner of open source. So Red Hat is a partner of open source, but not a free operating system. So there is a terms and conditions, you need to look into. So open source is not free for everyone to use. Okay, so open source means the code is open. That's all, and you can use the code, and you can modify the code and you can use it. Not directly, you cannot use that particular code. So there is a clause basically stating that. Now there are companies, okay, so who take the code and modifies whatever is minimum is needed, and they ship it as a different operating system. Out of that, CentOS is one of the one. Okay, CentOS provide you an operating system as a free operating system, which is a copy of Red Hat. So Red Hat provides an operating system as an open source. So CentOS copies the code. It's an organization. CentOS is not a company. It's a group of community people, and they copy the code, and so they customize and release it as a CentOS operating system, which is widely used in market than Red Hat. CentOS is widely used than in your Red Hat. Okay, so that's how CentOS operating system became. So there are even companies who copies this particular code, like AWS. AWS also copies this particular code, Amazon, and they provide Amazon Linux by copying Red Hat. They provide Amazon Linux. Okay, so that is one operating system. Now there are other people like Oracle also does that. So Oracle copies the Red Hat code and they give it as OEL, Oracle Enterprise Linux. Okay, so there are other companies, some Scientific Linux you have. Okay, so but so here CentOS is widely used than any of these operating systems. So our scope is also using CentOS, okay, operating system across our session. So we can use Ubuntu also. But if you go ahead and look into the market statistics or type in Google, so Red Hat versus Ubuntu, so you always Red Hat is a winner, and people whoever is working might be probably have some idea on that. Okay, Red Hat and Red Hat family, basically. Family means CentOS, Oracle, Linux. Everywhere the commands remain same. None of the operating system, not even a single command gets changed. Everything is same. Okay, only the logos, the UIs, you'll see the change, and so the term I mean, the licensing things and all will change. Okay. So CentOS is our scope, and we're going to use CentOS. And coming to the CentOS actually, so which CentOS operating system to use again? CentOS.org. So which CentOS operating system to use? So there are two versions of CentOS operating system, and yeah, so here is our two operating systems of CentOS. So one is CentOS 6 and CentOS 7. Okay, and the 7 has a 6 version, 7.6, 6 has 10 version, 6.10. But which one to use? On the right side, if you see, which one to use is obviously gives you a scope. So 30th November 2020 is the last date for CentOS 6. So that means CentOS 6 is almost getting end of life. So I don't prefer to use this one. So I would prefer to go for CentOS 7. Even Red Hat has introduced just 2 months back Red Hat 8 version also. So probably CentOS is yet to release CentOS 8. Okay, so yeah. You have CentOS 7. So now our scope is using CentOS 7. CentOS 7 is almost being used in the market now. CentOS 6 is, people will have to migrate to the newer version because these guys will start support to the old version, and you'll not get any case if you face some issues. Okay, any support things when you face some issues. Okay. All right, so that's where we're going to start using CentOS 7 operating system, not CentOS 6, CentOS 7. Okay.
So Raghu,
Now, yeah.
Sorry, quick question. So we can just get an Oracle VirtualBox and get this image and get going, right?
Yeah, I don't want your desktops to be exhausted with the resources. So yeah, rather than that, you're learning a cloud. So day one, start with cloud so that you'll get hands-on onto the cloud.
Okay, Raghu.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's go and create a server. So just click on EC2 and you're ready to create a server here. Hey, I'm in, oh, sorry. Yeah, here, let me go here. So I'm in Ohio region. Yeah. So now let me launch an instance on the EC2 instances. You can see automatically they're telling you Amazon Linux is a default one. So they're promoting Red Hat Linux and Ubuntu Linux. So here is what you have different operating system, Windows and other operating systems. So they're not giving the CentOS on the list. Okay, that's fine. You can go to the marketplace. So here is a marketplace where you find out all the operating systems. So here on the left side, you have, marketplace. And before to that, you have my AMIs. We didn't have any AMI so far. We'll use them. We'll create them. Our own will be created. AWS Marketplace. And over here, you can see these different operating systems. So, and I want to search for, I need CentOS. I am going to search for CentOS Enter. And you search for CentOS Enter, automatically you're getting CentOS 7. So just click on select and continue. And here you have different types of hardware which Amazon is offering. So, but always there is only one you will be using, which is free tier eligible. But later, so some tools we require bigger servers. So that at that point of time, I'll explain which servers you need to go for. Okay, at this point of time, so go for T2 Micro, which is a free tier, and your account you'll be using that as a free. Okay, and the next one is a configure instance details. So configure instance details, you don't need to change anything. Add storage. You need to select one option here. So just select this option, delete on termination, the disk point. So delete on termination. What it is doing, later you'll understand that. And add tags, don't do anything. So just go for configure security group. Don't change anything. Later we'll come back to step by step and we'll understand. So don't change anything even here, and review and launch. And while you launch it, so it is going to ask you the key pair which you mapped, so which is a DevOps key pair which I already uploaded to the server, and you're selecting that and just launch instances. And your instance, it's almost like, so let's say 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds, it is going to launch a server for you, and you're going to use that particular server. On the down, you'll get the instance details, like what all the options you have used. Okay, complete options, whatever you have selected. And once after the server come to the running state, you can use your public IP address, and you can connect to that particular server. Okay, so public IP is what you have to use, not private IP. What is the difference? You will understand it later point of time. But this point of time, so public IP is what your scope is. So let's the instance come to running. Yes, you can see this. The instance came to a running state. Now I can just go here and now copy this one, copy the IP address, and now here from your command line from git bash, you can start connecting to the server. Okay, so how can you connect to the server is ssh -i devops.pem file. Okay, and then you have to use the login username is CentOS, and then paste your right click and paste your server IP address. So this is what you have to use, and it is going to ask you yes or no. It is still not accepting the connection, so let's wait for a couple of minutes. The server is still not accepting the connections. It is still initializing, so it still takes little bit time. Yeah, so now it is asking for yes or no, so you will understand this yes or no also at the later point of time. So as of now, just give yes, enter, and you will be inside the server. You'll be inside you'll be inside Linux server. So this is what you have to do. Okay, and this is what you have to do to connect to the server. Let me put this also on the screenshot available here. Uploading is to GitLab. One minute, I just want to add this screenshot here. I forget how to add it. Readme.md. Just click on edit. So how this is adding? So uploads. Okay. So I have to go to upload somewhere. Under my project, new separate, and then drop down.
Huh?
Yes.
What's the default storage that comes with the server for this?
I mean to say, in what point you're asking, in which context you're asking?
I mean like 80 GB or whatever it is. Just the working, the working space, the file system should come with the files, or do we need to add the file system?
No, that comes with that picks from the EBS volumes. EBS is a default storage in Amazon, so which is nothing but a disk. So assuming back in the server, so there are some disks which are already available to the server. So from there, it is going to give a chunk of amount of disk to the server, to the virtual machine.
Okay.
Need to add this. Searching on my way. Screenshot image to GitLab Markdown. GitLab Markdown.
Siva, Anil here. So,
yeah.
All the steps what we're doing will get in the notes, right, in the drive.
Yes, I shared already the link over the chat, so you can have a look on the chat. So the URL, so he's having the list of, I mean,
Oh,
step by step
so
creating.
those steps are in the same URL. Okay.
Right. We had this.
So I would say just if you want to go to the README file and click on edit and just copy paste the image like command and just change the path of the file.
It will not work actually. This is an image, so there is something we'll be doing. Somewhere I'll find uploads option. Yeah.
By the way, I see like you asking for Visual Studio Code. Can you use something else?
No, don't do those any other tools. I will make a note out there. So don't do any other tools as of now. So later we'll talk about those things.
Okay.
1 minute. So the overview of GitLab. How to press. New snippet. And type your title. Yeah, I'm getting it. Got it. So I need to install Git Bash and
Raghu, I'm just confused what we're doing right now. Is it
no, this
related
is
to
not.
GitLab?
I'm just updating the documentation. No technical.
Okay.
All right. So. So to access it with a shell I'm giving, so to access it with git bash, okay, so you can copy the public IP and run the following command. So create a server, here is
So basically, what is the difference between GitLab and GitHub?
Both are free. Both are the same. They offer Git as a service, and yeah, that's all. Comment the changes. So create a server and access it with Excel. Okay, I'll change that. Little.
Can we use default Windows 10 some apps are there, like Ubuntu or all those things? Can we use those apps?
Yeah, you can.
But for that,
All
we
right.
need to import KeyPair as well.
Yeah, the process remains same.
Okay.
Yeah. So your end utility, only your client remains same. So you open, I mean, you want to open Google.com, you use Google Chrome or use Firefox, use your Internet Explorer. The choice is yours. So these tools are like that. So those are different utilities. And to contact Amazon Web Service, I mean any server, and we are contacting Amazon, and process still remains same. The commands remain still same. Everything is same. Yeah. So install the Git bash, and after this, so you can create a server like I shown here with all the options. And now after this, you can connect to the server, but this image is not coming. Yeah, I got it now. So let me update the image once again. So just click on new issue. So here is where I have to paste this particular screenshot. Just give me one last minute. All right, so here, let's click on edit. Perfect. So here you go to access it with Git bash. So then you can copy the public IP and then so run the following command in Excel. So run the copy IP. So here the IP might be different. So here in the screenshot, my IP might be different. So just look for the process. Your IP, you're going to get your own IP. So just connect it. So this is how you connect to the server, and you can start playing with the playing with the server. Okay, I can start executing the commands over here. So that is what we do. So now to be sure that 1 minute.
User
So
right.
1 minute. To be sure that you are in Unix, you are in Linux operating system. So how do you validate that is just by giving uname. So there is a command. So which you give uname, it should give Linux. If I exit from the server, so if I type exit, it just comes out of the server. And if I just give uname here, it gives me Windows 10. Okay, so that is how it is. All right. So when you connect to the server, you type uname. So you usually see the prompt is coming in this way. So but your Git bash prompt is something different in colors you are getting. Okay, so you'll be getting Linux here, and you'll be getting something else here. Okay, just to differentiate in which prompt you are in. Okay, and you connect to the server, and today we're done with the server. I don't want to use this particular server anymore, and I can, so I don't want to use this server anymore. So I just want to instance terminate. I don't want this instance because I don't have any data inside this server. You can stop the instance as well, no issues. Okay, but mine is not a free account, so the 10 GB is also whatever or 8 GB whatever we have selected for the storage to the server. is also being chargeable in my account. Okay, mine is not a free account. So that's the reason I always terminate the servers rather than stopping the servers. If the data inside the server is really not needed, I will terminate the server. You have to do the same thing. You can go for termination and create the server, or else you stop the server and start the server. That's all. Right click, you get an option to control the state, stop, start, and things like that. All right. Yes, Farhan. Yes, Farhan, you're saying something?
Oh no, I was not.
Yeah. So that's all for today. So by coming to the tomorrow session, you should be able to create your AWS account, install the software, create the server, and connect to the server. So these are the 4 steps you need to take care before coming to the next session, so that you can follow in the next session. So from tomorrow, we're going to start talking about Linux commands. What do we require for our course? And then we'll move on to the required things. Okay, initially Linux. Fine. That's all for today. Any questions?
So Raghu, are we going to discuss topics tomorrow? What are all the topics we are going to cover tomorrow?
So it's all Linux basics. Basically, we start with the Linux commands. Basically, like so creation of files and directories, and then step by step.
Okay.
Raghu, you didn't ask for username and password for the server.
Yeah, we have given the username. We have given the username here. You have given the username here itself. -l CentOS is a username. You are already provided in the screenshot. So not required. And so instead of password, it is you are giving a key file. So yeah, password is deprecated option in clouds. So we use keys. Keys are much secure than passwords. So yeah.
Raghu, one more thing. Today you created the instances by simply next, but there are many things are there. So we'll discuss later, right? How to create security group and all those things, the protocol, TCP/IP, all networking thing.
All comes later.
Yes, that is good. Yeah. So later you will elaborate each and everything so that it will be help, because only next to create the instances, it will not help me. Yeah,
we will do that, don't worry. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do automation of that also. We need step by step. We need each and every point to be explained, because we do automation as well. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that, don't worry.
Okay.
Is there any like folder or like course package that you'll be sharing?
We'll share videos to you, and we will create a new GitHub link, a GitLab link, after completing the Linux, and all the things, whatever we are writing, so will be uploaded there, and you can access it all the time.
Okay, because I saw in the course content it has like Ansible, Terraform, Jenkins, and other services as well. Is there like that's why I wanted to ask.
An example. Yeah, for an example, so you see my previous batch. So this is batch 36, and previous batch is batch 35. So here is how it is going on. So step by step. So you had Ansible, you have Jenkins jobs, Docker, Terraform, step by step.
Could you share the link?
No, this is not open to everyone. So only to the group people only will, to this batch, we'll create a new link, and that will be shared to you. Don't worry on that part. We will share you.
Okay, so is it soon or later?
Later, at this point, not after right now. So after Linux topics, we'll create that and we'll share you. So till Linux, as I mentioned, I already pasted one link in the chat. So we'll be hanging over with that particular link all the time for at least 1 week. So we have all the things which is required in that link for at least, for 1 week.
Raghu, total how many classes, and daily it is 1 hour or?
It's 1 hour 15 minutes every day, and it is almost like 9 weeks, Monday to Saturday.
Monday to Saturday, 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Daily the same time, 7:30 to.
Same time.
Raghu, can you connect from this Unix server?
Yeah, you can connect.
Okay.
Raghu, if you miss any links, we can get in a drive, right? In the
No, only link will be one more link. That's all. and Drive link will be shared with you. That's fine. 2 links altogether you'll be having come for the complete course. One is Drive link for videos, and one is the code link for all the content which I want to share with you.
Which is you pasted right now.
This is initial link, and this will get changed. Yeah.
Okay, but this link will be available in the Drive, right?
I'm not sure how organizer is making, but I'm. These are 2 different links. That's all. Fine.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Not from me.
Yeah. Any questions?
I missed that how to create this AWS account. I joined just.
Yeah, I shared you one URL. Did you got the URL in the chat? In the chat?
No.
There's a chat option. You joined over mobile or your laptop?
Laptop.
So there is a chat also in this meeting.
Okay, chat. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there is a link, right? So
Yeah.
just click on. You have step by step there. Please follow that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This link, do I need to copy into?
Yeah, just open the link. You'll see the how to create your AWS. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So bookmark this URL also. We'll be using the same URL for 1 week at least.
This link.
Yeah, same link.
Okay. GitLab.com CAT. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you, Raghu.
Yeah, thanks. So no questions, we can wrap it up, and we'll meet in tomorrow's session. So ensure by tomorrow everyone create your AWS account and create some server and try to connect to the server, and yeah, so we can start from there from tomorrow. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Tomorrow's session. Bye. Yeah. Anyone asking something? All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.